Welcome back. So our next guest is a broadcaster and writer who you may know from his 16 years hosting the iconic Discovery Channel show Daily Planet. Not only has he won awards for his efforts to popularize science, but he's also written 20 books on the topic.
Incredible. And his latest, The Future of Us, looks at the cutting-edge science and tech that will shape how we live in the future. Everyone, please welcome Jay Ingram to the show. Good to have you here.
We're very, very pleased to have you here. Like we said, this is certainly not your first book, but what can you tell us about this latest book?
So this book is about the future, but, you know, making predictions, which people expect you're going to do in a book like this. My favorite saying about that is, predicting is hard, especially about the future. So we're going to be doing some predicting games here, and I'm ready for that. But I'm telling you, predicting is really hard.
Okay, you're going to do your best, because why don't we dive straight into that game? We all have our paddles ready, because this game is called Future or Fiction. Our audience is going to be in on this as well. So we're going to make a statement, and it's going to seem like it comes straight from science fiction, but you're going to let us know, is it fiction or is it in fact something that's possible in the future? So this is all based on your research, by the way.
Yeah, I know, and I'm nervous.
Okay, here we go. Why don't we start? Okay, will we be seeing flying cars everywhere in the future? Is that future or fiction?
All right, future, and you know what?
Is that
You're
correct?
right, everybody.
Yes.
So this is kind of a joke in the future thinking world, because we've been promised flying cars since like the 1950s.
Yeah.
And they are nowhere.
Yeah, it's
right?
true.
But for the Paris Olympics in 2024, they've promised they're going to be flying cars. So I would just say one thing. If you think it's going to look like a Cadillac Escalade with giant wings and a tail, no. It's going to be more like a quadcopter, like a giant drone. Do I think they're going to be a regular part of our future? I don't think so, because you think, who's going to want one? Where you can't live in Etobicoke in Toronto and pull out of your garage with a flying car and then run like 300 meters down the street to take off. It's just not going to happen.
That's true. Although with the traffic, I would be willing to take a chance.
I'd be
willing to take a chance,
Yeah,
Jay.
except the traffic up there is going to be even worse.
And more
Everyone
dangerous.
has one.
Right.
Yeah.
So true. All right, so our next question. We'll live in giant colonies on the moon. Is this fiction or future?
I'm going to say future.
Fiction.
Oh, it's pretty split in the audience. I'd say fiction.
Okay.
And here's why. I do think people will be living on the moon, but living and working, maybe mining or running a space center there to jump off point to Mars. But when you said giant colonies, I'm sort of thinking of a suburb. You know? And living on the moon isn't that great. The scenery is extremely boring. The radiation load is so high, there's no atmosphere, right? So you actually have to live underground.
Oh.
Yeah, that would.
And if you live there for long enough, because it has less gravity, if you came back to Earth, you would have severe medical problems. So I kind of think once people go up there, they might well just stay there for the rest of their lives.
They're not coming back.
Okay.
Wow,
No giant colonies.
Okay, for the
Way
next
to go,
one.
studio audience.
For those who don't know, the metaverse is basically a sci-fi concept in which the internet is a universal and immersive virtual world. So one day, will we be going to the office in the metaverse? Fiction or future? I'm going to say future.
Yeah, I agree. Future.
I go future.
Wow.
Future. So just imagine, you've got to imagine that we're talking about years from now when computing power is going to be way, way more than it is now. So what do we do now? We have Zoom, right? So you sort of interact with other people, but it's really kind of not great. But imagine with much more computing power, I could be sitting at home in a chair like this, but I would have detailed images of you, of all of you, of this whole room. I could look around and see behind me. I hear everything. And at some point, it'll be really hard to tell the difference between, am I really in the office or am I still at home?
Yeah.
And I think it won't be for everybody, but I'm sure that that's going to come.
Wow.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, this next one I am already torn on. Fiction or future? Humans will become cyborgs. So like half human, half robot, kind of.
I say
Oh boy,
future.
there are thumbs down everywhere on that. But I'm going to disagree with the majority of you and say, yes, there are going to be cyborgs, but I'm going to modify this a little bit. So you remember, you might not remember, the $6 million man.
Yes, I do. I the action figure, sorry.
Yeah, big TV stories in the 60s where he had an accident and was rebuilt with a super focusing eye and an enormously strong arm. I don't think that stuff's going to happen. What I do think is going to happen on a practical level is for, let's say, people who've lost a limb. Prosthetics are pretty good right now, the replacement stuff, but they're going to get much, much better. So that if you've lost, let's say, part of your arm, I am sure in 20 years or so, you're going to have a functioning artificial hand and arm that you control with your brain and will bring you back almost or maybe to normal. But like super people, like the $6 million man, and let's not forget the bionic woman.
Right?
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, interesting. All right, so up next, bringing extinct species back to life will help conservation efforts one day. Is that fiction or future?
People seem a bit undecided. Okay, if it's future, everyone's voting future, I'm going to say no.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
Why?
Here's why. It's so technologically challenging. Like take the woolly mammoth. People want to bring back the woolly mammoth. There are no woolly mammoths. So what mother animal is going to bring that embryo to life? How are you going to do it? And then you have one woolly mammoth, but the idea is supposed to be you're going to have herds of them. If you get one, then it'll be good in a zoo, but this is the wrong approach. We got to conserve the animals
Amen.
that are
That we
in
already
danger
have here.
Amen.
Wonderful.
Jay,
So true.
fascinating discussion.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Future of Us is the name of Jay's new book, and studio audience, you're going home with your copy today. Fascinating. We'll be back right after this.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.